Everyone expected Michael Jackson to defend his territory when Aretha Franklin challenged him to a vocal moment in her own city. The king of pop doesn't let anyone upstage him, right? But what 15,000 people at Joe Louis Arena learned that night was that Michael Jackson's greatness wasn't just in his voice or his moves. It was in his ability to recognize true royalty and honor it. What nobody knew was that Michael had been afraid of this moment for years, singing in front of the Queen of Soul herself. Wait until you hear what happened backstage. August 1988, Detroit, Michigan. Michael Jackson was performing during his Bad World Tour. This wasn't just any city. This was Motown, the birthplace of his career, and home to Aretha Franklin. Aretha had been invited as a VIP guest. Michael's management thought it would be good for the hometown press. What they didn't expect was what Aretha had been planning. The story begins 20 years earlier in 1968. Michael was just 10 years old, performing with the Jackson 5 at the Apollo Theater. Aretha Franklin was in the audience. After the show, she came backstage. "That little boy has something special," Aretha told Joe Jackson, "but he needs to understand that technique without soul is just noise." She looked directly at young Michael. "Can you feel the music, baby? Really feel it?" "Yes, ma'am," Michael whispered. "Good. Don't ever lose that." Michael never forgot those words. But here's what will shock you. By 1988, Michael had become the biggest star in the world, but he still felt intimidated by Aretha Franklin. "Have you heard she's coming tonight?" Michael asked Quincy Jones during sound check. "Aretha? Yeah, she's a VIP guest." "I respect her too much," Michael admitted. Quincy laughed. "You're Michael Jackson. You've performed for royalty, presidents, millions of people. This is different. She taught me that music without feeling is nothing. I want to do this right, not just perform." "Michael, you're overthinking this." "Am I? When's the last time I sang a song that made people cry? Really cry? Like Aretha does every time she opens her mouth?" Wait until you hear what happened backstage. Aretha arrived at Joe Louis Arena and asked to see Michael before the show. Michael was practicing scales when security knocked. "Ms. Franklin is here to see you." Michael's voice cracked. "Aretha Franklin? I hear?" They hugged when she entered. "Hello, baby," she said warmly. "Look at you, all grown up and ruling the world." "When's the last time you really sang?" Aretha asked. "Not performed, not entertained, really sang from your soul?" Michael thought about it. "I'm not sure I know the difference anymore. I want to remind you how to really sing. Strip away all the production, all the choreography. Just sing." "Which song?" "How about Human Nature? That's a song that needs soul, not spectacle." "And if you're willing," Aretha continued, "I'd like to sing with you. Show Detroit how we do it together." "What song?" "Respect. My song. But I'll make you a deal. If you can match my final note, I'll bow to the king of pop. But if you can't..." "If I can't..." Aretha's eyes twinkled with mischief. "You're then the king bows to the queen." Michael felt his competitive spirit surge. "You're challenging me." "I'm teaching you, baby. Same thing I've been doing since you were 10. Around 9:30 p.m., Michael reached the acoustic section of his show. This was where he performed Human Nature. "This next song," Michael told the crowd, "is about being human, about feeling real emotions." He looked up at Aretha's box. "Ladies and gentlemen, we have royalty in the house tonight. The Queen of Soul, Ms. Aretha Franklin. The spotlight found Aretha. The crowd erupted. Now, the Queen has challenged me tonight. She wants to know if the King can really sing from the soul. Michael began singing Human Nature, but this version was completely different. Slower, more vulnerable, more emotional. No choreography, no spectacle, just Michael Jackson and pure feeling. The crowd was mesmerized. They'd never heard Michael sing like this. So raw, so real. Halfway through the song, Aretha Franklin walked out of her VIP box. She made her way down to the stage, people parting as they realized the Queen of Soul was coming. Michael saw her and smiled, never stopping his performance. Aretha reached the stage just as Michael finished. The crowd was quiet, absorbing what they'd experienced. "Now," Aretha called out, "it's my turn." She climbed onto the stage. Michael handed her a microphone. "Detroit, y'all ready to hear some real singing?" The crowd went absolutely insane. What happened next will give you chills. The band looked to Michael for guidance. He nodded to his musical director. "Respect," Michael called out. "Say the Queen's song." The opening bass line of Respect began, but this wasn't the studio version. This was live, raw, powerful. Aretha began singing, "What You Want, Baby, I Got It." Her voice filled every corner of Joe Louis Arena. Rich, powerful, commanding. This was why she was the Queen. Michael stood next to her, watching in awe. He'd heard the song countless times, but never like this. Never with this power, this presence, this undeniable authority. "What do you need? Do you know I got it?" The crowd was losing their minds. The Queen of Soul was performing her signature song with the King of Pop. "All I'm asking is for a little respect." Then Aretha looked at Michael and nodded. It was his turn. Michael joined in. Just a little bit, just a little bit. Their voices blended perfectly. Michael's smooth tenor complementing Aretha's powerful alto. Back and forth they went, trading verses, building energy, pushing each other higher. Then came the final note. Aretha took a deep breath and hit a note so high, so powerful, so perfect that it seemed to suspend time itself. Everyone in Joe Louis Arena stopped moving. They just listened to this impossibly powerful note that contained decades of soul, pain, joy, and triumph. Michael stopped singing. He stopped moving. He just stood there, listening to pure vocal perfection. The note went on for what seemed like forever. Aretha held it, controlled it, made it swell and dip before finally releasing it. When she finished, there was absolute silence. Time seemed frozen. 15,000 people barely breathing. Then Michael did something that shocked everyone. And he got down on one knee, actually knelt before Aretha Franklin on his own stage. When he stood up, he took her hand and spoke into his microphone. "Ladies and gentlemen, you have just witnessed the Queen of Soul, the greatest voice that ever lived." His voice echoed through Joe Louis Arena. "I am not worthy to share this stage with this woman." Aretha looked shocked. "Michael, baby, get up. This is your show." "No," Michael said, loud enough for everyone to hear. "This is your house. Detroit is your house. I'm just visiting." He turned to the crowd. "The Queen wins. She will always win. Because she taught me that being great isn't about perfection. It's about connection." Here's what happened next that no one expected. Aretha started crying. Right there on stage, tears streaming down her face. "Michael, you don't understand," she said into her microphone. "You didn't lose tonight. You won. I can't hit notes like that." "You don't need to hit notes like that," Aretha replied. "You have something different, something special. When you sang Human Nature tonight, you moved every person in this arena. That's your gift." Michael looked confused. "I challenged you to sing from your soul," Aretha continued. "And you did. You made 15,000 people feel something real. That's not losing, baby. That's winning." She hugged him tightly. "I'm proud of you. So proud." The crowd erupted. 15,000 people on their feet, screaming, crying, witnessing something they'd never forget. "Ladies and gentlemen," Michael said, his arm around Aretha, "News the Queen of Soul just taught the King of Pop what it really means to sing. And the King just showed the Queen what it means to be humble," Aretha replied. They stood there for a moment, two legends who understood what they'd just shared. After the show, they met in Michael's dressing room, just the two of them. "I can't believe you knelt," Aretha said, still emotional. "I can't believe you came on my stage to teach me a lesson," Michael replied. "Did you learn it?" Michael nodded. "Technique without soul is just noise. You told me that when I was 10. Tonight, you reminded me." Wait until you hear what she said next. "Michael, you're the most gifted performer I've ever seen. But you're also the most insecure. You think you have to be perfect all the time. Don't I?" "No, baby. You have to be real. Tonight, when you sang Human Nature, you were real, and it was more powerful than any note I could ever hit." Michael was quiet for a moment. "I've been so focused on being the King of Pop that I forgot how to just be Michael." "The King of Pop is just a title," Aretha said. "Michael the man, Michael the artist, Michael the soul. That's who people really love." "How do I remember that?" "By doing what you did tonight, by being vulnerable, by admitting when someone else is better at something, by kneeling when greatness demands respect." They talked for 2 hours about music, about soul, about the difference between entertaining and moving people. "People think being the greatest means defeating everyone else," Aretha observed. "But real greatness recognizes when it's been surpassed and celebrates that." "Even when it hurts your ego?" Michael asked. "Especially when it hurts your ego," Aretha smiled, "because that's how you grow." The story spread immediately. The image of Michael kneeling became iconic. The King of Pop honoring the Queen of Soul became a symbol of what true greatness looks like. Years later, vocal coaches would show students video of that night. "Watch how Michael recognizes vocal supremacy and honors it. That's what separates good singers from great artists." "The Queen wins," Michael had said. But really, everyone won that night. Aretha won because her greatness was acknowledged by the biggest star in the world. Michael won because he learned that humility enhances greatness. And the 15,000 people won because they witnessed something unrepeatable. When Aretha Franklin hit that impossible note, Michael Jackson could have kept competing. Instead, he chose to kneel. He became a greater king. True greatness recognizes greatness. If you were challenged by someone who was better than you at your greatest skill, would you have the courage to kneel and celebrate their mastery?